Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 71 of the Gaming Duo podcast. I'm your host for this week, Robert Garcia, and I'm joined by co-hosts Kelvin Rolon and special guests Philip and Nave from the Gaming Together podcast. Nave and Philip, can you tell the listeners what your podcast is about and what they should look out for on your podcast?
Yeah, hey, I'm Philip. My co-partner Nave's over there. Say hey, Nave.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Testing,
our podcast,
testing. 1, 2.
We hear you. We already did that earlier. What are you doing?
Hang on. I forgot the clap. Ready? There you go.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
All right.
So
you can
We
proceed
forgot to turn the please clap sign on.
Right.
So the audience didn't know when to clap.
Philip, you can proceed.
All right. Yeah, we're Philip and Nave from Gaming Together Cooperative Podcast. Our whole deal is we take a co-op title and we play through it completely in just a week usually. And then we just break down every little bit we can and talk about it, usually from a co-op perspective of like, hey, is this a game you should try to break down and bring to your boys and be like, look, guys, we're going to play Bubble Bobble and it's going to be awesome, I promise. And they're going to be like, all right, let's give it a shot. And lately we've been doing some real stinkers. We've done things like Wolfenstein Youngblood. What else was bad, Nave?
I don't know. I wipe it from the hard drive.
Oh.
It was Far Cry 6.
Far
Was
Cry
it
6.
particularly bad?
Yeah.
So I've been meaning to ask you guys this because I've been listening to a few episodes, especially like the most recent one. You guys are a major fan of Far Cry 6 from what it looks like, right? You guys
it's
put
definitely
it
We're
to
a
the
major
top of your
fan
list
of
there,
team
right?
killing.
Something like that. It sounds like they love Far Cry 6 quite a bit. But yeah, so guys, if you don't know, we're the podcast that provides profound and engaging discussions on the latest gaming news every Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. So, question for everyone. What are you guys playing right now? We'll start with the Gaming Together podcast. What are you guys playing?
For
You
our
first, Phil.
pod, yeah. If we're just talking about what I feel most actively engaged playing right now, that is Fable 2. We just picked it up. We've played about 2 hours so far. And this game is a lot better than I remember, but it has the stink of older generation games on it, where like you guys talked about in your last episode, like the camera control is just, it's dirty. So
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Just like the field of view is so almost like weirdly placed, combined with everything has motion blur. It feels like it's running at maybe 23 frames.
Frames.
on the
Flames.
X.
Flames.
Yeah, it's so fast.
It's so
on
fast.
fire.
God, it just feels like I've always been like, come on, guys, you can't get motion sickness playing a game, like, because I've never had it feel like happen to me. But then
Right.
Nave said this game is making me ill, and I'm like, come on, you're just being a big weenie. Then I started playing the game, and I'm like, oh man, my stomach is turning every time I turn the camera more
That
than
bad,
like
huh?
so many degrees. Yeah, it's so ugly. It's just
Once you get used to 60 frames a second, going back to 15 is like insanity. Like we played video games like this, and we're okay with
This
it.
is
I
what
guess.
we used to do, and we
Yeah,
were
we were
perfectly
happy.
fine with it. Yeah. And now it's like I can't go back to it. You know what I mean?
But Fable 2,
Don't ever play VR games, because if that's what's turning your stomach right now, playing a VR game will definitely do that for you.
Fable 2 was released on the Xbox 360, right? It's not an original Xbox game.
no, it's 360.
And
Yeah.
even then, it still was just the camera was that bad with the whiplash.
The problem is the motion blur, honestly, because you can't turn it off
Well,
or anything.
You're leaving out something incredible. Is whenever you guys play in co-op, the camera, it's like the original Lego Star Wars games where you have to both be on screen always. So the right stick doesn't do anything whenever you have two people in the game, even online. So I am at the mercy of wherever Philip decides, whatever direction he wants to walk, to turn the camera. It is the weirdest situation.
That
And the
does sound
camera
very
it's like
strange.
controlled by itself. So it's like I'll walk around the building and it will try to whip around so we can keep my character in view and Nave's character. And so there's like a certain little turning point where if I walk past an invisible line, the camera is gonna whip around really fast to try to see both of us.
Oh God.
And it's just bad.
Why?
It does the
um,
Gears of War thing where you hold down a
Oh, what
button
is
to
it?
look at a thing. And it's like, look at that amazing thing over there. We want you to look at, and you hold down the button, and then it just zooms in on the wall, and
Yeah.
we're like, what is so
Like,
special
what
about
is
this torch?
Yeah.
It turns out it was supposed to be showing us something else. God, it's so goofy.
I know exactly
Why,
what you're talking about because I played, and I spoke about this on last episode, Medieval. I don't know if you guys ever played that game before on PS1.
No.
That was like our childhood game, right, Rob? And they remastered it. Remastered, right? They remastered that for PS4, I believe. And so I tried it out to see how it is. God awful controls. The controls are so hideous. And then on top of that, the camera just didn't help at all. So it just ruined my whole childhood with the whole like, oh, I had this game and I loved it, and now I played it again like 15 years later. I'm just like, yeah, this is fucking terrible.
Not to talk about Turok like I always do, but some of those first-person shooters from that era just aged so amazingly. Like, they were so bad before, and now that you play them, like, remasters from now with, like, dual analogs and everything, feels so good, especially on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, for sure.
That game feels like Counter-Strike on mouse and keyboard.
That's amazing. And the N64 especially for first person, for first person. I'm playing, I was playing Banjo-Kazooie on the Nintendo Switch, and again, the camera. I remember that game. I love that game, and I'm like, I died because I couldn't. I have a fight with the camera, but I played Ocarina of Time, and I had no issues whatsoever. Camera was perfectly fine. So
Z-targeting was revolutionary.
Yeah, that's
like
what
Dark
it
Souls.
is. Dark Souls as well. Dark Souls is another one that will be timeless. Like no matter how many times when you'll go into it, you'll never feel its age for the most part. Those games are truly timeless. It's just get your camera.
Now that
right.
I think of it, I've never had issues with Dark Souls camera. You're right. Like any Souls game, I've never had an issue with. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's all of that lock-on targeting. Devil May Cry, same thing. Never any issues because you're on that targeting. But not everyone gets that, you know? They're going through the game. Kel, we've been playing something lately, and it ends tomorrow, the alpha. Mm-hmm. We've been playing Warner Brothers Multiversus, and that game has been a blast. I don't know if you guys have seen a preview for it or any gameplay, but we're having a ball playing that. Kel, what do you think about that game? Because
it is so good. It is such a cherishable game to play, especially it's in alpha mode right now. So it's a nice change of pace from what we've been playing, from what we've been seeing lately. Again, it's kind of like the Smash clone sort of, but not really, because if you really get into the nitty gritties of it, it's kind of its own separate game. Simply because it has these cool features of allowing to upgrade your own character specifically and putting on elements that you wouldn't be able to do in like a Smash Brothers game, for example. So you can add perks to your character, you can level them up. You have that 2v2 aspect to the game that is actually really fun, surprisingly.
It'd be a perfect game for you guys to play because it is a co-op game.
100%. 100%.
Well, I'd be down.
I wish we had alpha keys to give you guys so you can actually talk about it in your podcast.
Well, it's ending tonight, isn't it? Tonight is the last day?
Tomorrow I think is the last day, the alpha. But it'll have a beta in July, so you guys should definitely pick it up in July and then definitely talk about that on your show.
Yeah,
I
think it runs super smooth for an alpha. I think it plays really well. The gameplay is nice and tight. The characters are awesome. Like you're playing characters like Bugs Bunny, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Tasmanian Devil. Like you're playing all these like obscure characters and you're mashing them together and having this like grand old time. Like it's such a fun experience. The gameplay is fast and fluid. Like it doesn't feel like you're lagging behind. It doesn't feel like there's like miss inputs. Like it just feels right. I will say, like I mentioned before, the characters feel a little floaty for me, and I wish that was addressed in some aspects. But again, this is an alpha; things can change. Other than that, I'm having a fucking phenomenal time, dude. Like I think about this game for like half of the time. I'm just like, I want to get back into this game and just play. To the point where we haven't even played 1v1. Like we've been sticking strictly to 2v2, and usually 1v1's our jam, right? But this is so much fun that we're just like sticking together and playing, co-op.
Have you guys checked it out? Your thoughts on Multiverse? I don't know if you guys are big Smash players.
Oh yeah,
I've been watching a lot of Moist Critical. Philip loves Smash. I've never been good at it. I kind of get upset because everyone around me got good at it while I was playing Halo, and then when I decided to join Smash, I'm always the first one dead, and I'm like, I don't want to play this anymore. Can we play Rock Band where I can't lose? But that game looks really goofy. I definitely want to play Shaggy.
That's so
The whole time I was thinking about it, since me and Philip don't really have anything to contribute, I was more thinking along the lines of like, since you guys are PlayStation guys mostly, you guys got the PlayStation symbols back there, so you guys can canonically tell you're both in the same universe. Me and Philip were Xbox boys. He's got green headset. I've got a slovenly living room, so we're both Xbox boys. What would you think if like the Creator Clash style video game came out where Sony and Microsoft collaborated, like Marvel vs. Capcom style, and just brought their own characters into a game?
That's a fantastic point. I think my head would explode. If like all three came together, Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony all just had one super giant brawler. Oh, that would be probably the greatest game of all time.
That
honestly.
would be epic.
Who would be your most favorite character who would you probably main in that game? Just anyone off the top of your head.
That's so hard. But
That's so hard because I loved PlayStation All Stars back when it was a thing for like a hot second, and I loved Spike was my main, and then Sir Daniel was one of my mains, obviously because I played Medieval. But if they were to be incorporated into like an Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo like Smash Bros thing, I would. I don't know, man. That's tough.
I think I would die before I actually got to play it because I would die for pure happiness.
Yeah, dude, it'd be insane.
But
that would be some crazy shit. Imagine if they all just pulled it together and just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just make this one grand game and let's just celebrate games. Like that would be crazy.
That'd be really cool.
Now I'm like sad that it's not actually going to come out. Like,
I'm gonna
said that.
turn that back to you guys, but for something a little bit different. I know you guys mentioned Far Cry 6, and I was joking obviously when I said like, oh, you guys love Far Cry 6. I know you had some issues with it. What would make you go back to Far Cry 6? Like I know I understand some of the issues that you addressed for that game, but what would make you want to go back to that game, or maybe not even revisit, but if they've made like a Far Cry 7, for example, like what would you want them to do for you to actually be like down to play?
Battle Royale mode.
No,
let's
stop.
go.
Don't say that. No.
There you go. I'm telling you,
Kelvin's alley right there.
That's my alley right there. Halo,
Battle Royale and everything.
Halo, baby, Battle Royale. Let's go.
Oh man, to
What do you
fix
think,
Far
Philip?
Cry, the biggest thing they need would be more player expression in it, because so much of your interaction in the game is limited to the blocked away point, shoot, collect, explore. Like it's pretty basic. Whereas I look at the other open world games that I enjoy more, like the Saints Row, it's like you super customize your own cars. You can drive them off buildings. You can just be ridiculous with them. You can call in like helicopters to any location. Like the game is almost like trying hard to like keep you in that realistic space of immersion, when at the same time it's also trying to be ridiculous with the alligator as your homie and stuff like that. Which
Right.
I love the ridiculous alligator homie and little Chorizo, the wheelchair dog. But give
Fucking
me
wiener dog.
more player expression with less of this forced, I don't know, kind of like, hey, this is what you should be doing. Give me a chance to do what I want to do.
It
They
takes
also give
itself
you a billion
serious.
things to collect.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
it takes itself serious, but not serious at the same time, right? When
Not
you're talking
serious
about like,
enough, right? It's like commit to something. You're either
Commit
gonna
to
be ridiculous or you're not going to be ridiculous. So
right.
it doesn't really work. But being that you guys are Xbox guys, let's move into our first news of the week for the news
I like
roundup
that
of the
segue.
week. Spider-Man could have been an Xbox exclusive. Damn, could have been. Spider-Man was turned down by Microsoft when Marvel approached both Sony and Microsoft with the pitch. Damn, Microsoft, like, fucked up.
Drop the ball.
What was the
there,
pitch?
Makes me wonder, like, what studio would Microsoft put on a Spider-Man game though? Because Insomniac is fantastic, and they have such a heritage of these, gameplay focused, like physics kind of focused video games where like there's so much variety. Like the Ratchet and Clank game they came out with I really liked it. I don't know why people were so down on it, my friends, I think it was unanimously liked, but
Mhm.
my friends didn't really like it. It's like, I don't think Microsoft really has
Well,
an
not in
Insomniac.
pocket. Who's
Yeah.
the guys that do Control?
Remedy.
Oh,
Those guys are so
Yeah.
good at
Remedy, yep.
making super tight, contained experiences. Like
Yes.
I haven't played Spider-Man, but I see that it's like very open world and very like you get to explore the cities and swing around as the webhead. It's awesome. like that game looks sweet. I can't wait to play it eventually when it comes to maybe PC or something. But
it will.
I'm down, like, because I played the old, Spider-Man games, which were usually just like game mill. They were just pumping them out whenever they felt like it, and they were always level based. Well, not level based, but like besides Spider-Man, like
it was like broken into pieces, like
it
levels,
was like sections.
Yeah,
you drop in, and you'd have like a tighter narrative storyline as you went along in the open world. So I feel like the Control dudes could be really good at crafting a narrative heavy Spider-Man.
They were way too busy on Crossfire X's campaign.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Yep.
But the pitch that was given was that they wanted at least one Marvel game that could rival the popularity of the Arkham series, because at the time the Batman games were huge, right? So they wanted something to kind of battle that, and Microsoft turned down. And the reason why they passed on that deal was they wanted to focus on their own IP. And meanwhile, Sony's like, we'll take that. You go Insomniac.
Yeah.
And here we go. It's a huge title right now, and we're looking at the Spider-Man 2, which is going to be absolutely bonkers.
I'm much happier that Insomniac got Spider-Man than Microsoft possibly mishandling it with the companies that they were controlling at the time. Because I mean, like, this was before the Bethesda acquisition, was before when Spider-Man came out, right? That's way before the Bethesda acquisition.
Right.
Yeah. So they had no cut. They would have to license that out to a third party studio.
100%.
Or it would be second party in that point.
Yeah.
But
Now, you said that if Microsoft actually did have Spider-Man, what would it look like? And you think giving it to a studio like Remedy, right? You think that's how it would live under the Microsoft?
So I almost feel like Microsoft...
My first idea...
What's up?
Well, I was like, my first idea was Crystal Dynamics, the guys who make Tomb Raider.
That would have been good. Yeah.
I think they might do okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking, is like they'd make it a Tomb Raider or their own like Drake version of Spider-Man, which is more focused on the characters, close up and story elements, to counter... what's the zombie one?
Last of Us?
Yeah, Last of Us. Or was Gears of War open world?
Counter The Last of Us with Spider-Man.
No, but you could. You could tell
Oh.
like a mature Spider-Man story. Like it doesn't need to be all punchy, kick.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
35-minute long revenge quest for Uncle Ben dying in your arms.
Dude,
oh,
that could be it. That'd be the intro.
Now.
Honestly, dude, I'd be down. Honestly, but I get what you're saying. I think this to go back to. So, do you guys think Microsoft made the right call when it came to denying, this major IP that potentially could have been Spider-Man for them? Like, do you think that was the right call at the time for them?
As far as for the consumer, yes, because we got such an amazing product out of Spider-Man. Like I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah, I feel like Microsoft probably would have just mishandled it, and I don't think that's a unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
and I'm a Microsoft boy, so
right. I think my Sony has tailored their IPs to this like high tier level now that Insomniac was one of the best choices they could have done for Spider-Man, because they have a well crafted development cycle of games. They've had like a bunch of games that they've done. Even Sunset Overdrive was for Xbox exclusive, right? And they've done that, and that was a phenomenal game too. So they're no stranger to success when it comes to like making these great games, and I think Spider-Man was perfect for Insomniac for sure.
It worked out. What else did Insomniac do? They didn't. That's. I'm thinking of
Ratchet and Clank games.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Now, do you think Insomniac accomplished the goal of going head to head with the Arkham series for best superhero games? Do you think that, like, hey, we have the best superhero?
Oh yeah.
game?
Yeah, I think so.
They put Arkham in a coffin.
I don't know about a coffin for sure, because I think Arkham on its own is still a well-rounded game. I think Arkham City, in my opinion, was probably one of the weaker ones. In my opinion, was that the one? Was that the latest one? Was that the latest one? I might be mistaken.
Yeah, Arkham City. There was Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum was the first.
What was the second one?
Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and then Arkham
Knight. That's probably the one I'm thinking about. The one that they really like try to like make you play the Batmobile. That one, I'm like, it was great.
Oh, that was too much. Yeah, they did.
I was like, I'm a little over the Batmobile at this time.
They put you in
it's Arkham Knight. It's got the
Arkham Knight. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Batmobile.
It was great. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy the game, but yeah, I think that it's still it's still an amazing game, and I think Insomniac did the accomplishment of they put it up to that tier. So now it's time for Arkham to show what they have, basically, in a sense,
Now
Well, we'll see with the new one.
Right, Arkham Knights. I was just going to ask, is a cooperative game? Are you guys excited for that? We talked about that in our last episode, but is that something you guys are going to talk on your podcast when it comes out?
We're cheap gamers, so only if it comes to Game Pass. This does not look like a game I'm going to run out and buy, but it's definitely a game that I'm going to like watch it go by. Same as what's Chaos Killer? Final Fantasy
Stranger.
Stranger in Paradise. Yeah,
it's like I don't think I'll ever buy that game, but I keep staring at it as it goes by. Like
it's
maybe
a meme
at
this point, man. It's a meme.
It's so bad. It's good. That's basically where that game.
That's
is.
my.
It's so bad.
I keep hearing. I can't remember which podcaster it is, but he's like, I'll never forget for my whole life when I'm standing in a field in this fantasy setting, and I hear this like ridiculous. What is it? This fucking ye old music, like Fallout music, and then it just says objective. Kill Goblin, and he's just like all of these fucking things together are like destroying him.
This is great. I love
so
it.
funny.
Yeah,
So
I
good.
played the demo of it, and I was like, this feels like a watered down like Dark Souls, and they try to put a Final Fantasy twist, and it just didn't know what it was, and it felt like a weird monster, and like the voice acting is so bad. I'm just like, I can't take this game seriously. There's no way I'll be able to take this game seriously.
No.
So
Did you guys see that YouTube video where I thought this shit was like edited? We can cuss, right? I think we. Yes.
Oh, I think I've done. Like
oh yeah,
5 times,
absolutely. Go ahead.
I probably cussed like 8 times already too. He was your party's sitting there listening to this lady talk like it's like an exposition dump for like 3 minutes straight, and then the camera slowly turns to your main character, and he just goes, "Bullshit," and then he pulls out his cell phone and plays like fucking
like hard
Biscuit?
metal or some
Biscuit.
shit. Oh,
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And walks away. So it's like, not only did he start playing Limp Bizkit, he played it on speakerphone so everyone around him could hear him playing Limp Bizkit, or whatever the fuck is the Limp Bizkit that we've got at home.
This is making me want to play the game, actually, because it just sounds so ridiculous, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Fuck it.
So
Was it Dave from Tales of the Backlog was saying, like, if Nave gets super excited about a game, be careful going into it, because he's making it sound way better than it is.
But I've seen some of it, and I'm just like, this looks bad, but there's something about it. I just want to play. I just want
so bad it's good. That's why.
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
what
bad.
it
It's
is.
like a train wreck. You can't stop watching. You
Yeah,
just wanna
exactly.
I
Terrible.
don't know, some of it just has
Becomes a
so
Game
much
Pass,
emotion,
I'm in.
though.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching a stream the other day. Oh, our friend Pinecone, and it was like in the first like 10 minutes, you have your main dude. I don't even know his name. Big muscle boy. He like meets these two bros, fist bumps them. Yeah, becomes super tight. And then you go to like meet a princess in like a center fountain or whatever, but we didn't want to meet her. And then she looks over and like waves at you guys across from it, and he just goes, "Ugh, it's her." It's like he's like, "Girls, gross. Let's get out of here, boys." And then she like runs over
Dude,
to him real
it's
quick.
seriously like, it's like you're walking down this path, then you turn around, 2 guys are standing there, and they're like, "You have a rock. I have a rock. I also
We're
have a rock."
friends.
And
We're
then you
friends
fist
now.
bump, and I'm like, I love
What
it.
is happening? Nomura
So
did not
good.
make this game. He did not direct this game. I can't imagine Nomura making this game.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
because that would have been like a 30 million long cutscene with like a whole bunch of twists and turns and backstabs, and 3 people would be named the same.
That's fair.
It's
fair.
like-
That's fair.
I mean,
The
we
thing is,
kinda
though,
knew
I
from the
loved
start.
15. Like, did you guys like 15?
Yeah, I enjoyed 15. I mean, the ending was kind of weird.
I played
didn't
it-
like how
Go
it
ahead,
got
sorry.
rushed towards the end. Like, that's the only thing I didn't like. Is like,
Yeah.
okay, well now you're in the hyperbolic time chamber and you're old, and now you're gonna go beat the game. Like, it's cool, but it was a little too late that they did that. There wasn't any build up to that point. So, but other than that, I did enjoy 15 for sure.
Yeah, I did too. I played it when it first came out, so I heard it's way better now. But it
Royal
was
Edition?
good.
Yeah.
It was good. I can't say anything wrong about it.
Dude, I love Boys on the Road. That was my first Final Fantasy, and
Really?
I've gone face first into the Final Fantasy after that. I'm working
Wow.
on 13.1 right now.
Interesting.
Have you played 7 Remake?
No, I don't have a PlayStation.
You can play it on PC. You have a PC?
Yeah, I do, but I don't know. I'm a pretty big console boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
I highly recommend playing Remake because that's probably one of my favorite Final Fantasy. If you liked 15, you're 100% going to love 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Remake's interesting because I played it for a while. Like when COVID first started happening, I was like, I was gonna wait for this to come on Xbox, but if I'm gonna die, I might as well just play this game right here on PlayStation. Why not?
Right,
Because
right.
I had a 1X and I have a base PS4 that sounds like an airplane every time I turn it on. So it's like I go out of my way to not use my PlayStation as much as I can because it feels like it's gonna catch on fire.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like it's so weird because it's so long. Like I feel like I've barely moved into the Final Fantasy VII story, even though I played it for like 8 or 9 hours. But I would keep walking around and just being like, where am I? Oh, I recognize that one little playground piece. I'm in that place.
Right.
Whoa, and I would that just kept happening to me over and over again because 7 was so important to me as a child. So it's like, that's pretty cool. The music is pretty, but it's not the old music. So every time I hear a song and recognize it, I'm like, oh, but it's not the old one.
It's not the old one. Yeah.
So it's hard to get over that, but
I'm just hoping they put some of the new Final Fantasy stuff in the new Kingdom Hearts game, in Kingdom Hearts 4. I really want them to tie those games together again like they did previously, but we'll see. I know you guys love PlayStation, so our next news topic is about PlayStation. So
Bring it out.
PlayStation 1 Classics feature. So we have the new PlayStation Plus tiers coming out next month. And if you sign up for the most expensive tier, which I think is $120 a year, you'll get access to PlayStation 1 Classics, just like basically Nintendo Switch expansion pack, right? So these are the features you get with it. You can save and load anywhere you want. So just like Nintendo Switch, you can hit the create and load. You get some quick saving, right? You rewind to an early spot to prevent death or mistakes. So this is going to make a lot of those games so much easier. I'm actually doing that right now in some of my games. I think every time I'm playing Zelda and I mess up on like one little part, I just go, going to reload the save state and just beat it. So I don't know if I like it, but I don't like it at the same time because it definitely takes the difficulty out of those old games.
It sounds like the Mega Man the collections, because on those old Mega Man collections, that's the only way I beat Mega Man 1. Is I don't have the patience. I don't know what it is about 2D games, but I just do not have any patience for those fucking. I will die and I'll be like, no,
I'm done.
Rewind.
I think the reason why we went through those when we were younger is because we had no choice because those were the games that were out, and if you wanted to beat them, you had to just deal with it, right?
Right.
You had to get good.
You had to get good. That's it.
That's why we're so good at video games now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back in my day, we used to have hard games.
Played old Ghosts and Goblins, and we loved it.
Ghosts and Goblins, dude. Let's fucking go. I love that fucking game.
That game made me want to rage so hard. I'd throw a freaking
It's too brittle.
I loved it. I was terrible at it. Don't get me wrong, but I fucking loved it.
The game is so hard. There's a couple of different video formats. There's native resolution, 1x1, 4x3. But honestly, when I was looking at the showcase where they showed all this, they looked exactly all the same to me. I didn't really notice the difference. There's actually filters, which is pretty cool. You have a default.
Yeah, it's like you got the scanline filters. Can I make it look like CRT?
Filters,
there you go.
Cool. So I think that's a cool added feature. And then obviously, the native console ports are going to take advantage of cloud saving, better frame rate, increased resolution, all 4CRR. So, are you guys? I know you guys aren't PlayStation guys, so it's hard for me to ask. But for Kelvin, at least, are you excited that you're gonna be able to play these games again on your PS5?
I'm like a broken record, man. I do not like to play old classic games. That's just me. I just don't like going back and ruining my childhood half the time and enjoying what I used to like and now playing it back again like 15 plus years later and be like, yeah, this is trash. But again, that's just me. I prefer playing, what's relevant now, what's new now, just because I like to preserve what I used to play in the past. So would I be looking for this and checking it out? Maybe I'll probably try it out, see how different it is and see some of the new features and what they do. But as far as like really dedicating my time to it, I don't think I will. No.
So this question is for Nave and Phil. Do you go by Phil or Philip? I keep calling you Phil.
Either one. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. But does this entice you, like the new PlayStation Plus tier is coming out? Does this entice you more to maybe want to join Team Sony and get a PS5? Is that something that would kind of get you to move over, or you're kind of happy in just the Xbox ecosystem? What are your thoughts?
I'll take this one real quick, Nave. So,
No,
think,
that's good because he was talking directly to you.
What? I thought he was going back and forth. Like I thought he was talking general.
I actually did say I said Phil. Yeah,
He did say Phil.
I did say Phil. That's amazing.
This is a setup.
This
It's
is
a
100%
setup.
It's
a
not.
setup.
All
That's
eyes
not
on
a
you,
joke.
bro.
Gotcha,
All right.
bitch.
Anyways, so PlayStation. This happens to be the sweetest the pod has been because I have seen a lot of like games go by where I'm like, man, that'd be really nice. Like I see God of War go by and I'm like, God of War looks fun. I see Spider-Man go by and I'm like, Spider-Man looks really fun. Like
Hell yeah.
there's so many titles where I'm like, really wish I had a PlayStation for that. And now that they have all this back catalog just thrown up there, because I never had a PlayStation 1 growing up. I had a PlayStation 2, but I was always a Nintendo boy, so I never went back for those games. And I am a big video game historian. I love going back because I feel like so many of these old titles have lessons that we can apply to modern games, because
100%.
modern games, while they take a lot from the older games, it almost looks like they forget where we came from at some points. And it's just, this would be the time I would make the jump. But honestly, I just don't have the cash right now. Like if I had just, $1,000 to get into a whole ecosystem just drop, because of course I'd want controllers so I could play with my kids. I'd
Right.
want, the premium console. I'd want a decent hard drive. There's so many things I would have to like go all in for that it's still a big investment up front.
It's like
So I
that
don't think
game-
I can make it now.
Oops. Where you say go?
You brought up a very good point that I never really thought about, and that's true. A lot of the games that we play now have taken a lot of inspiration from the previous games that we played in the past, the classic games. So that's a good point. I do like that you said that. So that was a very good call.
I was just gonna say.
As far as
sorry, what were you
you're
saying?
good. No, I was just going to throw in my little thing because I do have a PlayStation, but I haven't played a lot of the later half PlayStation 4 generation exclusives, and so I'm looking over there at PlayStation Plus Extra Money Edition, going, maybe I should
Money additional
dedicate a month to just play as much as I possibly can, because the PlayStation collection already exists, so I was satisfied. I was already planning on doing something similar to this already, so I don't even know if I want to make the jump to a more expensive tier PlayStation Plus. But my main gripe with the whole situation is there's a lot of things that I'm worried about. The PlayStation 3 emulation is worrisome. The fact that they don't support DLCs makes me a little upset. The whole streaming and not being able to download the PlayStation 3 games, I seriously can't believe that Sony hasn't fixed this yet.
Yep.
And it makes me worried for the preservation of games, even though we're talking about all digital games, so it's already a leaky ship with the preservation. I mean, just look at what happened to Xbox Live like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where people couldn't even play their fucking digital games for no reason. They just couldn't do it for like 3 days. And it's like that. This whole situation makes me worried about the people in the future being able to look back and go, Final Fantasy Remake, that means that there was another one. Maybe I should go back and do that, and not having a way to do something like that. But as far as people like me, like I'm a really entrenched gamer. I have so many games. I think I have like 1,100 games purchased on my Xbox system. And it's like, whenever I look at Game Pass, I look at Game Pass as a new release kind of refresher, where I'm playing Psychonauts 2, Forza, I'm playing Halo Infinite's campaign, and I'm not dropping $60 for all of these games. I'm just enjoying this with my subscription. And since Philip he has a family, he has responsibilities, he's not like me, I'm just the singular bachelor dude with like nothing else to do. He has to spend his money in other places, so just spending $15 a month and being able to play, I was going to say Far Cry 6, but that's not, being able to play Sniper Elite 5 that just released, we can play that together because we both don't have to pay money for that. We just spend $15 and drop it on that subscription, and we're able to do that. That's something that I really enjoy. It's bringing a lot of people together. But on that note of it's day one releases where I'm really wanting Sony to start to commit to, because not even with their first party games, because I guess I understand they don't have money bags like Microsoft does, but these day one releases, they dissuade me to look at Sony's side. They make me look over at Microsoft, because I already own a lot of these games. That's something that I see on Twitter a whole lot, is I already own my games. I'm buying my games. Like I already own Devil May Cry 5. Why would I want to pay a subscription? I own most of the games on the PlayStation side already, or I've already played them. So like for people like me who have been playing for so long, day one releases is an incredibly important incentive to drop that money down for more than just 1 month.
Well, Sony, you heard it here first. That's how you can get the Microsoft fanboy. You got to do your day ones. Give them some day ones, and they'll switch over to your service. That's what it sounds like to me.
They've mentioned this, and they've talked about how the reason why they don't want to do this, and it's because they want to preserve the quality of their games. I don't know how much bullshit that is, to be honest, and that's just PR talk. But I agree. I would love for them, and I've been talking about this for almost a year now at this point, but I would love for Sony to actually incorporate their first-party titles into something like PlayStation Plus day one, right? Like something like Game Pass, because it just makes sense. It just really helps the player like really play games that they wouldn't be able to try in the first place. You know, I bought Gears of War, or I played Gears of War because of Game Pass, and I was gonna buy it regardless, right? But that gave me the incentive of keeping my Game Pass, right? Because I was able to play a major title, a major AAA title, and I'm like, well, this is gonna be the norm for Game Pass, and why not? I played Halo. I wouldn't really. I mean, I'm a Halo fan, but not a major Halo fan, right? So when you're telling me I can play Halo technically for free on Game Pass, like, yeah, hell yeah. And I think that can be an incentive for so many other players out there, that if you're able to play Spiderman, if you're able to play God of War Ragnarok, and play a bunch of all of these Sony titles day one on a PlayStation Plus service like that, it would be a massive hit for them. And they're seeing it the opposite way. I'm not sure why. I mean, business, you know, I'm sure there's a lot more smarter people on Sony right now that understand the reasons behind all this. They have the numbers, they have the statistics, but for us, it's like, why wouldn't you? It makes sense, you know?
One thing I think about when I hear that is whenever I heard whichever Sony exec was saying that, I was thinking about Forza Horizon 5 releasing on Game Pass, but they had if you bought like the $120 edition, you got to play like a week early,
Right.
and they had in the first like day or two passed 1 million something people,
Right.
and I'm like, but the game, you could just wait a week. But that doesn't, like, some people just want the big shiny version of their fucking video game.
Right.
If you're a Forza fanatic, because I think about a game called World of Tanks, and there are a lot of similar games like that, but that game's a free-to-play game. You can play that game forever without paying a cent. Or you could spend $60 on one singular tank. You could spend $60 on a tank. And I'm like, who is doing that? But there are people who play that game and only that game. And that is their game.
Right.
So $60 for one tank that they are going to put 150 hours into it's the same thing as spending $60 on Final Fantasy 15 and putting $150 into, or 150 hours into that. And I'm like, okay, well, some people just like Bejeweled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just
That was
do
random.
that.
Yeah, I got you.
I got you.
That was well said, because it's just wherever you are going to find the value in that $60. What is that $60 worth to you, right? You know, like I might dump $60 into Fortnite, or I might dump it on skins. Right, I've done it on League of Legends. I think on League of Legends, I've spent a.
What's the
chunk
most you've ever spent on a game, though? Like,
I don't
Rob,
want to talk about League of Legends.
what's the most you've ever spent on a game? Like, what was the most you've put in for like microtransactions or anything like Battle Pass or anything?
Honestly, not a ton of money. I'm not really a big fan of microtransactions, unless there's like something that blows my socks off, like a skin that I'm like, I need to have that skin, and I'm really invested into the game. That's kind of like, I think the Battle Passes are smart, because you pay $10 and you get a bunch of stuff. With, you know, I wish more games would do the Battle Pass, but obviously the Battle Pass has to be good too. Like, you have to have cool characters and cool skins and cool unlocks. You can't just be like, we're just gonna throw whatever random stuff in there. But I don't actually. That's a good question. I don't actually know what game I've dumped the most amount of. Does DLC count?
Yeah,
right?
I mean that's part of
Sure.
it. I feel like, right? So I think for us, it would probably have been Super Smash Brothers, right? We bought all the DLC packs.
Yeah, you
we
buy
bought...
the game twice essentially. It's like $25 for the Fighters Pass, so it's 50. So
Yeah,
2
I mean,
packs,
and that's
50.
nothing compared to
Yeah.
like what people really spend, right? But it would probably have
yeah.
to be Super Smash Brothers and Fortnite, because I did spend. Maybe not. No, I don't think so. Fortnite, no. I don't know. I think it's Super Smash Brothers for me. But you know what's going to be
You can
close right
get-
now? It's going to be Multiverse, 100% for me. I'm going to be buying
yeah.
every single
Every
thing in that
character?
fucking thing. Yeah, 100%.
Every map, every character.
You can go.
Yep.
you can go into your account settings and see how much you can, or get like an email sent back to you from Riot Games to see how much you've spent. And I'm pretty sure I'm like $900 something deep into that game.
I believe it.
Like
I believe
after
it
like
100%.
6 years. It's
Yeah.
it's like 6 years of playing the game, and it's like every paycheck. I'll throw them $10. I'll buy a skin.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
they do something
That adds
right,
up.
because the skins are dope. Like, you wouldn't, if the skins weren't dope, you wouldn't be buying these things, right? So they're doing something right over at Riot.
I think it's either that or it's like Rock Band, because Rock Band has a thing where if you buy a DLC, it goes to the next game. And I have 1,200 songs, so I think I probably paid about 900 of those. $2 a song. That's $1,800. Just arithmetic, real quick.
Yeah.
So that's like, but that's since 2007, 2008. When did Rock Band 1 come out? So I've been a loyal boy of Rock Band for a while. I got the Xbox drum set just like right here. Always here.
With Phil Spencer kind of claiming over Activision and all that, potentially could bring back Rock Band.
I
and
hope
stuff,
they
right?
do.
I mean,
I hope
that's
they
something
bring
that
back
could
those games.
potentially happen.
Those games were a blast. Also, I'm going to ask you some trivia later, Nave, about Rock Band. So I hope you get it right, because that's going to be really funny if you get it wrong. So
Activision has the rights to Guitar Hero, and Harmonix had the rights to Rock Band. And Harmonix was purchased by Epic Games exclusively to work on Fortnite. So I kind of hate Battle Royales even more now, because
you're right.
My poor baby.
Yeah, that's not happening. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. I was like, Epic purchased Harmonix. I was like, oh, can we get instruments? Instruments, please?
Yeah.
Because all of the guitar's like $450 on eBay, because they know that we will pay for that. And they're like, nope, they're going to work on Fortnite.
Yep.
People want to play Rock Band. People want to play Guitar Hero. Please bring it. I just want to make a quick note for the viewers or the listeners right now. Nave is recording this on his Xbox Series X. We are doing the podcast, and he is literally using the camera and using the Bing browser that's on his Series X to record a podcast. So if you ever wanted to get into podcasting and you're like, you know what, I just don't have the equipment, I don't have the PC, you could do it on your Series X.
You do now. Yep.
Yeah, everyone's got these beautiful, good sounding mics, and I'm using an Xbox headset like Turtle Beaches or something.
Also, I love your dog just fucking trying to catch its tail. It's fucking great.
My dog knows that my TV remote, if she hits it enough, I'll turn around and take it from her, and she just unmuted my TV somehow. She's like, he'll mess with me, he'll play with me if I do this.
So real quick before we move on to in-game chat, I want to know, what was the aha moment? How did you figure out that you could do your streaming through your Xbox for your for how you record your podcast?
Desperation.
Yeah, I knew the same word. We were desperate. My PC died, and so our plan, I think, was to use Discord, and then Philip screen record off of OBS, and just hope that doesn't suck or something. I don't remember what we were originally gonna do. But yeah, desperation. That's how we got our Bubble Bobble episode done. That's how we got the Morrowind modded to have co-op. We just get desperate.
That's thinking outside the box, man. There. Yeah, that's dedication. So I respect that for sure.
Well, speaking of dedication, guys, that concludes our news for the week. We're going to move on to in-game chat, where we're going to talk to Nave and Philip about their journey as podcasters. All right. So for in-game chat, Phil and Nave, this is all about you. The floor is yours. Me and Kelvin are just going to bounce some questions at you, and we're just have a conversation. Okay, first off, my question for you. How do you guys know each other?
Yeah, how'd you guys meet?
You can do this one, Philip.
How did you guys, how did you become friends? Like,
all right, so it was back in like middle school in Oklahoma. Nave came to school, and he was just bragging about how he had Rock Band at his house. He was like, "Oh, I got Rock Band."
I was the new kid, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had just showed up.
Meanwhile, me and my friends, Steven, our bro at the time, we're like, "Hey, man, this guy's got Rock Band at his house, and he doesn't have any friends that I know of." So we walk over. We're like, "Hey, you got Rock Band?" And he's like, "Yeah." You know, and they're like, "All right, we're coming over after school. We're gonna play some Rock Band together, and we're gonna have some fun because we loved Guitar Hero, and Rock Band is better Guitar Hero." So we're like, "This is gonna be great. We'll just go over and hang out at his house. It'll be fun." And he's like, I don't know, too scared to say no, I guess, or too nice to say no. And he's like, yeah, sure, come on over. And then unbeknownst to, me and Steven, another group of boys came over to him and heard he had Rock Band. He's like, hey, you have Rock Band at your house? We're coming over after to play Rock Band. And so next thing we walk out and we see like him walking with these other two dudes. And we run, he's like, hey, where are you going? We're going to go play Rock Band. And he's like, oh crap. All of a sudden I have these 4 dudes coming over to my house to play Rock Band.
So funny.
And these people that he's never really talked to before. We show up at his house, meet his dad, play Rock Band. Then eventually my mom calls and is like, Philip, you need to come home for dinner. And I'm like, but Mom, we're playing Rock Band. And she's like, bring it. And I'm like, Nave,
bring it. Let's go.
And Nave, I guess, too scared to say no. We bring all these dudes, all of Nave's Rock Band equipment to my house. We all eat dinner together. We all play Rock Band. My mom hosts everything. It was awesome. Thanks, Mama. And we've been bros ever since. Yeah. Shout out to Mama.
Shout out to Philip's mom. Yeah. That's an amazing story. That's incredible. I actually met a buddy, like one of my best friends, through the same way. We played Super Smash Bros. Melee. It's just like, hey, you play Melee? Who do you main? Come over.
Yeah, what's your main?
Let's play. Yeah, like exactly. Let's go.
You good?
And that is amazing to me that video games can do that for people, right? They create these relationships and look what you're doing now. You literally have a podcast where you talk about co-op games, right? I guess this one is for Nave. Talk about your podcast. Like what started the idea? What made you guys want to start this podcast and that whole journey?
Yeah, what is our
I hate talking
podcast?
about myself.
Do it, Nave.
So our podcast. Well, what Philip is in the military, and he was just transitioning to a different job title or job something else. He's trying to work on computers now, and he's stuck in quarantine for like training. So he's just in a hotel for like 2 or 3 months for training and quarantine and stuff. And so he messages me and he's like, hey, I want to play Halo because I'm bored. I'm going to jump out of my window or something. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll download Master Chief Collection. We go through like every single Halo game like 4 or 5 times, just getting all the achievements, trophies for UPS listeners, or nothing for your Nintendo listeners. Fuck you guys.
Fuck you guys.
But
Yeah, get him.
You got him.
But yeah, wearing a Kirby shirt. But yeah, so
big signal.
after a little while, Philip was like, do you want to start a podcast? And I'm just like, yeah, sure, because I'm too scared to say no to anything. And so Philip is like, we're going to talk about co-op games, because I don't know too many people who talk specifically about that. And I'm like, Philip, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard, because there's only like 7 co-op games. I'm like, what co-op games are there? And then Philip just starts listing them off to me. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well. And ever since then, we've kind of expanded the term co-op to just together. Like can we play? Can we see each other in a game? Like then cooperative, kinda.
That's
But yeah, so
that's another thing I wanted to shout you guys out for, the way that you guys have your podcast and the creativeness of like, hey, let's pick a niche that works for us, right? And something that you don't really see often is a co-op podcast, right? So having like a co-op game related podcast is really interesting to see. So that's pretty cool.
in both of our favorite games, Rock Band and Dark Souls, his is Dark Souls, it's like they both have cooperation like integrated into the core of the experience. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, Philip. I guess maybe we could do this, and then we did.
And then we did
and
it.
you guys are now episode 53 is your newest episode, right?
54. 54 was Halo Reach. 55,
Halo Reach.
which is going to be... No, 54, yeah, is Halo Reach. That comes out tomorrow. Or no, this comes out on Friday, right?
Yes. This podcast will come out Friday.
The episode will be out right now when you're listening to this, dear listener at home. The episode is out. Halo Reach.
Awesome.
Go be cooperative and listen to us too.
There you go.
Speaking of cooperative games, have you guys, and I haven't gone your catalog down the list too much, but what is that one game? It Takes Two. Have you guys played that game?
Yeah, that was game like, where is it?
Number
episode
3.
2. It was episode 2.
Okay, so
we
it's
did It Takes Two.
Because when I think of co-op games, that's the one. Me and Kelvin were playing that, and we had
A
blast.
It was
Such
so
a fun
good.
game. So good. So
That
good. It
game
was a
actually
very
was
long game though, in my opinion. But that's just me.
We got about a third of the way through that game. We got through like the tree level, and that was around the time Philip was like, "Do you want to start a podcast about this specific thing? How much fun we're having?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
That's the stupidest idea, and now here you are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
That's
I
awesome.
honestly was like, I genuinely like, if you just asked me to name 10 co-op games, I'm like, I think it's just like I can name 5 maybe.
I probably would
Yeah.
be in the same boat
Yeah,
as you. And off the top of my head, probably would be like,
Yeah.
I have no idea. But there's, especially when we were growing up, like the Nintendo games, Nintendo 64 games, like 90% of those games were probably co-op. You know,
Right. So then, what's
Gotta
what's
use
your
those 4 slots.
what's your favorite co-op game that you've played so far together?
Let's see. Favorite. See, this was kind of rough because on our year end, like we did a like year retrospective at the end of last year where we selected the best co-op game from the games in our pod that we covered, and I think Rock Band won as like best co-op game we played. Because like growing up, that was our move, was like with Halo 3 being second place, where we'd wake up in the morning at like noon, and then we would play Rock Band until like 7 o'clock, where Nate would just like, he was practically living in my house. And then my parents would be like, all right, it's 7 o'clock, stop being so loud with those dang plastic instruments. And then we'd be like, okay. And then we switched to Halo. And then we're being loud, yelling, and then my dad has to come in there and be like, stop cussing. You know? We're like, I gotta let him.
We have to keep.
We gotta let him know.
The Xbox Live party. You gotta let them know.
Yeah. And so Rock Band was just what we did every day for, 7 hours straight. Like we would just play Rock Band.
You guys
Yeah.
remind me a lot about Rob and I too, because we grew up together and we played countless games from everything basically, you know what I mean? And we lived in the Bronx in New York at the time, and I would always be at his house, always. And so we played games from like Final Fantasy 7 to Mario Party to playing Pokemon cards from 6 in the morning till like 10 at night. Like it was just like constantly just playing and having fun together, so you guys definitely remind me of like our childhood. Now we're so far apart that we just kind of made this for us. We're like, hey, let's do something that we like together, and that's why we made this podcast. But it's nice to see like you got like old friends just kind of sticking along and figuring things out and be like, you know what, let's do something together and build something together too.
Kelvin, I have a question for you. So, do you remember we lived in that house in the Bronx, right? And me and you, I had the bunk beds in the room, right?
Yeah.
And we would be up till like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 till the sun came up. At 5 o'clock in the morning, playing these games.
So your dad wakes up to go to work. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and screaming at us. But where was my sister? I don't remember.
She was MIA. I don't remember your sister.
I don't remember. She's
any...
like, because we lived in like I think it was a 2-bedroom house, and I remember my sister was like in that.
She was
same
probably
room,
over Gianna's house, like always.
I don't know
else.
if she just like. I don't know. I like literally like, I just wiped from my memory. I'm like, where was my sister that whole entire time of my life?
All those years.
All those years.
You didn't know where she was. No, I have no idea. You're right. I don't remember her ever. And I mean, I remember her once in a while, but like rarely there.
Like,
I was
like
at your house more than she was. Put it that way.
Yeah. So you guys are Xbox guys. First, being a Sony guy, what made you guys lean towards Xbox instead of Sony?
Just Halo.
I have a interesting story about this because I was going to, whenever the 360 generation was ending, the whole Xbox One shit show that happened, I was genuine, because I love achievements. I never really liked trophies that much. I'm an achievement whore. I think I have like almost 600,000 gamer score right now.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, I've like, me and Phil just went through it. I have like 180 what would be platinums. Like I've been playing it so long. And I was like, I'm going to switch to Sony because this whole shit show, I just don't want to be a part of it anymore. It's so toxic and annoying. And then Rock Band got announced, and they were like, all the DLCs moving forward, but not across. So it's like, if you have Xbox, you got to go back to Xbox. And I was like, shit.
Fuck.
Shit. I have to get an Xbox.
I'm trapped.
Yep. That's how they get you, man. That's how they get you guys.
It is genuinely just being entrenched in the ecosystem at this point. They've got me, because ever since I knew PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were both going to be like, you put the disc in, but you still have to download the fucking game to your hard drive. The disc is useless. It's just useless plastic. Man, it might as well be a Steam key. And I was like, okay, well, I'm done with physical copies forever, because like, whoop, into the GameStop's bargain bin. I just threw all my games away like an idiot. But
I did the same thing. I think I have a little bit of a shrine going on behind me here, but it's just like my major, like, I will never sell this type of thing. Like Kingdom Hearts, Metal Gear Solid, Persona. Those are like my main games that I love. But everything else, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I don't need this anymore. I'm going all digital, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. Philip was saying that like when he was a kid, he only had like Nintendo, and then he kind of transitioned to Xbox from there. Well, my dad was like, he's like, I'm gonna buy love for my kid. He's never really around, so every time he came back, he would take whatever console I had. He'd take my Nintendo 64. He would sell it and then buy a PlayStation with that money, and then bring me the PlayStation. I'm like, oh, new video game, you know.
Yeah.
And I was a dumb kid, I didn't know. So I basically had every single console growing up for like at some like just. Like my life is divided into which console I had until I was old enough to know, oh, I should probably get a job and get my own video games. That's probably what I should do.
Going back to the whole ecosystem thing, I like you, I'm invested in Sony, right? Because I grew up playing PlayStation. I grew up, you know, getting like the trophies, and then from PS3 on, I'm like, I am a trophy whore, right? So I've got a decent amount of trophies. I kind of stopped because, you know, life and shit, right? But it's so like funny how you dedicate yourself to one console, and that's probably why I don't really play a lot of games on my PC or play Xbox that much, just because in a way it's not that I feel like guilty that I'm playing on a different like system or anything, but it just feels like it feels at home. It feels like I'm at home when I'm playing PlayStation. I'm at home when I'm like invested in that ecosystem, you know.
I feel like the controller contributes a lot too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I'm
yeah.
I was playing Final Fantasy Remake, and I was just the first night I was just drinking, just pounding beers and playing Final Fantasy, and I just kept looking down at the controller, just like I'm so happy,
dude. I do the same thing.
It's like I'm so happy I'm on PlayStation playing this.
I do that
with
the Elite, right? So I play games on my Elite for my PC, and I'm just like, every time I'm playing and I'm like waiting on a loading screen, I just like look at it. I'm just like, damn, this is sexy. Like, I love this thing. And I just like feel it. I'm just like caressing it and shit. Yeah. I'm just like, this is fucking sexy, dude.
I'm going to say right now, Xbox controller is king compared to the... Don't get me wrong, the PS5 controller is great, but I don't think it's...
The DualSense is interesting with the triggers and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I'm never going... Like, the Elite is king, but that DualSense... I was over at a friend's house and I messed with it, and he was like, I don't remember what game I was playing, but you can feel the tension of the stick, of the analog, or what am I trying to say? The trigger. You can feel the tension of the trigger as you're pulling the gun, and then he was like, all right, now pick that gun up. And I was like, I think it was Call of Duty. I was like, oh my god, it's like different, dude. And he was like, yeah, oh my god. Yeah, it's fucking cool.
Yeah,
it's
cool. It is a beast of a controller. I agree with you, Rob. I think the Elite is the best at this point. But to be fair, I don't think Sony has ever made a like Elite controller, so if they were to make one, it would probably be just as good.
I don't know, like Scuff Gaming makes like Pro PS5 controllers, stuff like that, but you know, those are also. Do
you guys remember before the PS5 came out, before you knew anything about the PS5, because Sony wouldn't talk about it, they came out with like a back attachment to the paddles for the DualShock 4.
That was like the very end of the cycle of the PS4, right?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, this is what the new controller's gonna be like. It's gonna have this shit, and then it didn't. No. And I was like, no. I was like, that would have been so cool.
100%.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Because then you would be able to like.
To be fair though, the Elites, I take out the paddles. Like, I don't have them on mine. I just like.
I think they get in the way. Honestly, they get in the way for me. I used it for Gears of War, and that was it.
Yeah.
I highly recommend using just one paddle on each side. I don't know if you can see, but I have one. Maybe that's why. So I don't use both. And the way I play is I play a lot of Halo, and Halo you jump a lot. Like, you know, when in the newer Call of Duties people jump now, and people call it Halo jumping, and they write mean messages to you. But so jumping in Halo is A. But the problem is that if you take your thumb off of the stick to press A to jump, as soon as you see someone, you can't aim anymore. But jumping makes you it moves your head, essentially. So having a paddle attached to A on one of your sides makes it to where you can jump and aim at the same time. And you're basically playing mouse and keyboard at that point. You're so far. Once you get used to doing that. The other paddle is because we played Elden Ring for about 100 hours, and I broke my right bumper at some point. So now I right bumper.
Because of anger, or just because of use?
Or just dedication?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's use combined with anger. Because my classic is if I get killed, I just kind of drop the controller. I'm just like...
You just drop and walk away.
It's over.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for talking, inviting us into your little world of your podcast. If I'm a new listener, I'm looking into the Gaming Together podcast. What episode would you say would be a good episode for me to listen to?
Good question. Yeah.
Oh man.
I think
see
both
this
have
League of
different
Legends one.
opinions.
I see this League of Legends one I'm interested in. But you got a lot of good ones, guys. There's a ton. There's Saints Row. There's Apex in here. You got a nice spread,
Okay.
When I tell people about the first episode to listen to, I always recommend it not be about a game that you love. Because we're probably gonna fuck it up.
Yeah,
You're probably gonna get mad at us because we're trying to be genuine about the game, about like our emotions and thoughts about it, but we're also trying to make each other laugh.
Yeah.
Because that's half of our friendship is just trying to make each other laugh. So
Mhm.
we might say outrageous things about games, and sometimes we're kidding, sometimes we're not.
Right.
But what would be something you recommend, Philip?
Well, the problem is it depends on what you're looking for. If you just want something fun to just something ridiculous where we're just having a good time, probably Resident Evil 6 because
I actually
we
just listened
get
to
wild in
in
that one.
too.
Yeah. But if you want something where we actually are really serious about breaking down what's important with the episode, or really taking a big chunk out of it, I'd almost say the maybe Quake or I don't even know. Ocarina of Time one is really good.
I have to listen.
Games
to
that we don't like tend to get more serious also. So if you're looking for something serious like Wolfenstein Youngblood, I don't think we laughed a single time throughout that. As soon as we started talking about the game, I think the laughter was over. We were just back into serious mode.
That game, it sounds like, and you're just what? I just want to talk about this so I can get the rage out, and then we can never talk about it ever again.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
I think I'd said that about Far Cry 6. I'll be so happy if I never have to think about Far Cry 6 again. And then I just
this is gonna be a meme from between us now. Far Cry 6 is every time I think about Far Cry 6, I'm gonna think about you guys.
What? Were you guys really into it?
That's not good.
I'm not trying to trash your game.
No, not at all. It's just because when I listened to the episode, I agreed with literally everything you guys said about Far Cry in general, right? But where it's just very a stale game at this point. It's kind of like Assassin's Creed, in my opinion, where it's just it's the same thing, and you're just in these tropical, very exotic places, and it's fun, but it's you're doing the same thing. One of my main issues with it was when we were which one did we play? 3 or 4?
4.
We played it together.
They don't blend together. That's a problem. If they
all blend together.
Yeah,
you guys said the same thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm okay, this is fun. I'm playing with Rob. We're kind of just shooting the shit, just randomly doing shit. But what am I doing? What is the point of this? Because there's no progression with your story, right? If I'm in Rob's story, if I'm in Rob's game, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't add to my story, to my gameplay. So it's when I go back to my world, I have to do the same exact shit that I did with Rob, and it's that's kind of a pain in the ass too. So that was my major gripe with the game. And I'm all right, I did all this stuff on Rob's account. I'm not gonna go back and play on mine. It just makes no sense. So
yep.
Guys, we're gonna do some gaming trivia, but before we move on to gaming trivia, let the listeners know where they can find you. What time and what days do you guys post on your podcast?
Sure. If you want our fresh episodes, they come out every Friday at 4 a.m. That's Gaming Together, a cooperative podcast. But the big thing about our pod is it is a evergreen experience. So just go into that backlog, find something you're interested in, find something that you've never heard of before. You go in there and you're oh, I never played.
Taiko no Tatsujin.
Yeah, I was thinking more Phantasy Star Online too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just click on one of those and maybe learn something about a whole another gaming ecosystem. Because that's what I really get out of our pod whenever we do it, is I just love getting this big juicy chunk of more gaming material that I might not get involved with otherwise. I might never pick up Forza Horizon. I've never played a Forza game until we picked up Forza Horizon 5. And I'm whoa, car game, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you know there is a cooperative dating sim visual novel pseudo board game out there? For all of you people who are trying to freshen up your game. But listen to this, everyone. You date monsters. How about that? Well, we've got an episode. And it was colorful. Don't play it with your kids.
Well, interesting. I want to check that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, but we got the pod. What's up? Oh, we also got a YouTube, and we Twitch every so often. We were Twitching earlier today. And we are on the Twitter, too. Nave runs our Twitter.
Awesome.
It's at Game Together Pod, because Gaming Together Pod was too long, and Gaming Together is taken by some
The
magazine
honesty comes out.
that doesn't.
The
Some
truth comes
magazine
out.
that doesn't even do anything
Anymore.
with it. That's the same thing happened to us, right? We were like trying
Yeah,
to
we're looking at
figure out how to.
names, and they're
Like,
just like-
some asshole has our freaking. And they
Didn't
don't even
post since like
update.
2016.
Yeah,
Here we
fucking
are.
assholes.
But that ends
Let's do
our
trivia.
in-game- Yeah,
Yeah, let's do it.
Game chat. Let's jump into trivia. All right. So the way trivia is going to go is I'm going to ask each of you 5 questions. Okay. You can get 5 points each total. Whoever has the most amount of points at the end will win. All right. So the questions really do matter here. So we're going to start with Kelvin. All right.
Shit, let's go.
Kelvin, my first question, and you're going to have 10 seconds to answer this question. All right. That's
Am I
all you're
timing
getting.
myself?
Okay. I got you.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Thank you.
Kelvin, what was the first Marvel video game to come to home consoles?
Are you
This is
fucking
multiple
kidding me,
choice.
Rob?
This is multiple choice.
Okay.
Was it X-Men? Was it Marvel vs. Capcom? Was it Captain America and the Avengers? Or was it Spider-Man?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. What was the first Marvel video game to come to home consoles? You have 10 seconds starting now.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
What?
Sir,
Are you kidding
are
me?
incorrect. It was Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Damn.
Spider-Man for the Atari
Terrible.
2600 by Parker Brothers. It came out in 1982.
Just so you
Go.
guys know, I am fucking terrible at trivia. Like I don't. It just doesn't sink into my head. So
I was like, "Oh, you goof! It's X-Men," and he's like, "It's Spider-Man."
No,
was like,
I
"Oh,
thought
fuck.
X-Men too.
Oh, no,
I was
wrong
like,
too.
X-Men, X-Men.
All right. This
Oops.
next question is for Nave. This is multiple choice. What year did the Xbox Elite console release? 2007, 2009, 2006, or 2008?
2009.
You, sir, are incorrect. It was
Ah, God.
2007.
Oof.
What?
So we-
That's
Was
so
that
early.
Wow, yeah, it came out pretty quick because I think the original Xbox 360 came out 2005, I believe. But I even saw this and I'm like, wow, that was
Oh, the Elite is just the black one.
released.
Yeah,
just
it's
the
black
same
one.
one, but black.
You're thinking of the
The
Slim.
Slim is the one I
Yeah,
was thinking.
mhm.
No,
All right.
Dave, you had the black one too.
that was the first one I got. Was the black one. I should have known.
Okay. Phil, you're next. You can
Ready.
take the lead on this one. Who is the first boss you encounter in the original Dark Souls? This is not multiple choice.
damn,
The
brutal.
Asylum Demon, right?
God dang it.
You, sir, are correct. You take the
Oh.
lead.
Nice. Yeah. An easy one. What are you guys
You gave
doing
him a
over there?
softball.
Yeah. What
Damn,
a
man.
lob.
I told you, man. Don't go easy on these guys, man.
All right. We got the next question is for Kelvin. When did Sony acquire Insomniac Games? This is multiple choice. 2019, 2016, 2010, or 2017?
2019.
You, sir, are correct. It's 2019.
Damn. These years ones are hard.
I knew that one.
Yeah, that very well done, Kelv. You
Yeah,
are
you
now tied with Phil.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Let's go.
All right,
you know, I do this all the time.
Once a week,
Nave.
actually.
Yeah, once a week.
Next question is for you. Who was not a member of your party in Tales of Symphonia? This is multiple choice. Regal, Zelos, Colette, or Rose?
I want to say Clet. Oh no, they're all blending together in my head now.
I'll
Is
read
it Colette?
I'll read you the question again and the answers again. Who was not a member of your party in Tales of Symphonia? Regal, Zelos, Colette, or Rose?
I'm changing my answer. I'm Zealot or Zelos.
Zelos is your final answer?
Yeah.
You, sir, are incorrect. It is Rose.
Ooh.
Who's Rose?
Who are
She
these people?
was in Tales of Hysteria.
I was just looking at the box over there. God dang it! When I went and grabbed the Arkham Asylum, right next to it is Tales of Hysteria. They're all the same game!
Oh, this is amazing. I'm so happy right now. I love being the host for this. This is great. All right. This question is back to Phil. I'm sorry, Phil. I'm so
God.
sorry.
No, don't
put me in.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready.
All right. How much does the original Xbox weigh?
All right.
Multiple
Let's see.
choice. Multiple choice.
Okay.
6.6 pounds, 6.9 pounds, 8.8 pounds, or 5.7 pounds.
Can I hear the first two answers again?
7.9 pounds or 6.9 pounds. I'll go through all of them. 7.9, 6.6.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it. 7.9.
You are wrong.
Woo! No, I'm not.
It
Run
is.
it back.
8.8 pounds.
Damn.
So close.
Chunky boy.
He's a big
Chunky.
boy. 5.7, I was like, there's no way he's going to pick that. It's too light.
No way. No way.
Nah, come on.
Let's get real here.
All right,
We drag those things all over the place.
we got biceps from that thing. What are you talking about? You know, that was our weight.
Halo LAN parties.
All right, it's time.
They didn't
to,
have handles like the GameCube, so it was kind of hard.
That's true.
That is fair. Yeah.
Kelv, who is the main protagonist in Resident Evil 5? Multiple choice.
Resident Evil 5. Okay.
Yep. Claire, you see Nave, he's just like freaking out. He's like,
Come
Where
on.
is he?
That's an easy one.
Claire
All right.
Redfield, Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy, or Albert Wesker?
Repeat the. I completely forgot the question. What was it again?
Who is the main protagonist
Uh-huh.
in Resident Evil 5?
Okay, now I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay.
Answer.
Claire Redfield, Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy, or Albert Wesker?
Chris Redfield.
You, sir, are correct. It's Chris.
Hell
That was
yeah,
an
thank
easy
God.
one. That was an easy
I was
one.
I was pretending to not know. You know what I mean? Like that
Uh-huh,
was just.
Oh, you're scaring me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the suspense.
I fucking hate that game, by the way.
Oh my God. We'll have to have you on
You
that
like it?
episode. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh,
Please
God.
come for that episode.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm ready.
We had someone who hates Resident Evil 6 on for the 6th
See,
episode.
I want to
So
I want to talk to you guys another time about that, but I have such a love hate for that game. It's so weird. Like it was so good, but it wasn't good at the same time. But it was so good. But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we said too.
All right. This is for Nave. Which song was not on the original Rock Band 3 set list? This is multiple choice. Whitesnake, Here I Go Again, Slipknot, Before I Forget, The Bronx, False Alarm,
The Bronx.
or The Who, Bob O'Reilly.
That last one was DLC.
You, sir, are correct. Nicely
Yay.
done.
Woo!
Nicely done.
Killing
Wow.
it, Nave.
That last one was DLC for Rock Band 2, I believe.
All right, you don't have to show off, right?
I mean, I was impressed by that.
Yeah, that was impressive.
That was good. I was like, that's if you know
That's
Rock
a
Band,
that's a
you're gonna
Nate
know
question
that
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
All right.
That Bronx one was the trick one too, because if you haven't heard that song or played it on the Rock Band 3, you'd be like, "What in the fuck is that song?" That one probably.
All right, Phil. You say you like Slay the Spire, right? That's one of your favorite games.
Oh yeah, it's a banger. Got like
Yeah.
120 hours in that bad boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
What
Gotta set it
state
up.
is Slay the Spire's developer Megacrit based out of?
Washington.
Yeah,
Yo!
I'm not even. Yeah, you got that. You destroyed that just now.
Come
Okay.
on, bro.
Okay,
This is,
all right.
this
Okay,
is
okay.
child's play,
For
bro.
bonus, you won't get any points for it. But what city?
Oh man. I don't know any
Seattle.
Washington cities besides Seattle, so
Okay. All right, there it is.
we'll
No,
go
that was it.
Seattle.
That was
That
Seattle.
was
Okay.
it. Fucking
All right.
crushed it.
All right.
Give me a hard one like that one, right?
Yeah, I got you.
He got you.
This one's not multiple choice, by the way, and you have to give me 3 answers. So,
Yeah, you just
all
skipped
right,
me
Kelvin.
right now.
What were the 3 main classes you can choose in Destiny 2 when it first released?
Hunter. That's the only one I used. Hunter.
Quick out of the gate with it.
Yeah.
I'm starting the timer right now.
Can we steal?
You'll get 10 seconds back if you get the other one.
Oh, that would be
so-
cool if you could steal. That would be good. That's a good one. Fuck. Hunter. Magician? I don't fucking know. I don't remember.
Solid.
Well,
Keep going. No, you're doing
You
good.
got
You're
one.
doing
Yeah,
good.
you got magician. Yeah, no, Kelv. It is Hunter, Warlock, and what was the
That's-
last one, boys? What's the last one?
Titan.
You guys know it. Titan. There
Titan.
you go.
Damn it. Fuck.
Come on, easy
Come on,
mode.
Kelvin.
And
Come on.
we played a decent amount of
Yeah, you should have known that.
Destiny.
All right, Nave. Okay. This one is kind of like a long answer you have to give me. How do you unlock Spiderman and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater
Oh, no.
2?
I don't know. I used a cheat code.
Back in the day.
Oh.
I think you have to do everyone's. Is it one of those characters where you have to do everybody's story and collect all their stat points?
No.
Like get all of the things. Oh, dang it!
No, you're wrong. You have to get 100% in career mode with a created character.
Oh God!
Oh, okay.
Created characters included in all the other ones. Dang it!
Okay.
That was a tough one.
I don't know. I feel like
So
cheat
far-
code was pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like cheat code. Yeah, that's the only way.
So far, I have 2. Nave has 1. Phil has 2.
I think this is the last
Classic
question
Nave.
for Kelvin. Yes, this is the last question for Kelvin. You better get this one right, or else you're
I
gonna
have
like,
to. I'm done.
You have
Yeah.
to get it right.
All right.
This is not multiple choice.
No.
What was Sony's PlayStation 2 webcam called?
I know this one.
PlayStation Eye?
Is that your final answer?
That's my fucking final answer. Is it yes or no?
It is no. It is the iToy.
Are you kidding
So
me?
close.
You're so close, my friend. All right, Kelvin is 2 points right now, so you guys have to beat that. It was the iToy, dude.
PlayStation. So, is there a PlayStation Eye, or am I just
PlayStation
bugging
3
out?
was a PlayStation Eye. Damn. All right.
Is there a tiebreaker if Philip fails and I get mine?
I think we could manage a tiebreaker. Yeah. All right. Nave, this is not multiple choice. What is the Arbiter's real name?
Are you kidding me? Talizora Voss Normandy. Final
Whoa!
answer.
I would have.
I'm just kidding. No, you didn't get it. No. It's,
I would
I
have said
pronounce
yeah.
it.
Shit.
It's Teal Vadem. That's how you. It's THELVADM. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I would have totally got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird
Yeah.
that one didn't catch on, but old RB stuck.
All right. I'm sorry, Nave, but you are out of the running. You only had 1 point out of that. So no. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You
Yeah.
only got one because you only got the
Rocket Band one.
So you are
It's
in
on
last place
brand.
right now. Phil, last question for you.
I'm ready.
How many kills are needed in a row to receive Kilimanjaro medal in Halo 3's multiplayer?
15.
Oh, God damn
It's multiple choice.
What? What's the choices?
it. It doesn't matter. He fucking knows it.
6, 7, 8, or 10. He does not know it.
What? No, I'm going with 15. This doesn't make sense.
Is 15's your final answer?
Oh wait, hold on. No. Yeah, I don't know it. But if I had to go with
No,
one of your
15's
choices,
Killionaire! Killionaire is 15.
All right, so
oh, I was thinking about Killing Sprees. Oh, I'm off. Yeah, I don't know this one. Skip.
It's 7 for Kilimanjaro.
Bummer.
7. Damn.
All right. You guys tied at 2-0.
Okay.
All right. Then we're going to do a tiebreaker right now. So the way we're going to do this is whoever shouts the answer first wins between you and Kelvin.
Jeopardy style. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
Here we go.
Can I self-revive if I get it? Do we have another tiebreaker?
Reborn's a
No,
monster.
yeah, if Nave does
Like it's
it,
Call of
then
Duty Zombies.
It's a 3-way tie. Let's do that. I actually like that.
Ooh.
Oh, actually, no, it wouldn't. No, you would still lose. So sorry, Nave.
Yeah, he's gone. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
we would all have 2, right?
We would all have 2. It
You
would
don't
be a
have to- yeah,
three-way
I guess
tie.
it'll
if
It'll be
you get
another
in there.
tie. Oh,
No,
okay.
No, you're right. No, it would be tied. Yeah, if you got Nave, you would all tie.
But then we have to have another question.
no, then
No,
you
we
guys
can.
all tie.
I'll settle with a three-way tie.
No,
We'll
we
just
all-
do a
wait,
three-way
wait,
tie. I'm cool with
Alright,
that. I'm cool with that.
alright,
Let's go.
Ready? Okay. This is no multiple choice. Just like shout it out.
All right, let me close my eyes.
Who was the Xbox exclusive character for Soul Calibur 2?
Spawn.
Nave got it. You are correct. You just
Damn
tied
it.
the whole game.
Good job, Nave.
Good job.
You did it.
We all lose. I bring you all down with me to the bottom.
Very good.
That concludes our gaming trivia. Congrats to nobody because you guys all suck. Thank you everyone for tuning into the show. Again, we post the show every Friday at 7 a.m. Please leave us a like on all your favorite streaming service, Spotify, Apple. It really does help us out. Well, we really do appreciate that. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, your favorite social media. We're there. If you want to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at gamingduopod.com. You can register as a guest, just like these guys did. And as you can see, we had a great time, and we can do some gaming trivia and have some great conversations. Thank you guys again for joining. It was a blast. I definitely want to do it again.
Thank you guys. Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, Kel, do you have anything to add?
Check these guys out, please. They're fun. They're a fun group of guys, and I think we can definitely, think of something to do at a later point. Maybe some collaboration and just have some fun time, for sure.
All right. Well,
Definitely don't listen to us at full volume.
well, the fellas at the Gaming Together pod, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate you. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Appreciate you.
See ya.